I'm barely into my first year of real estate, so I'm by no means a professional when it comes to doing showings. But I've done enough of showings to be able to share some of the things that I've learned so far. I'll never forget about the first showing that I ever did. It's not like everything went terribly wrong. I just remember being so nervous to the point that I didn't even want to get out of my car. But after doing that showing, I realized that showings aren't that bad after all. If you're watching this video, then you're most likely about to go on your first showing. So congratulations on that. I want you to feel more confident and prepared when you're going out on showings. So in this video, I'll be going over some tips that'll help you and your client have a much better experience when you're out on a showing. Number one is research the property. Never show your client a property that you don't know anything about. And I'm not asking you to research the ins and outs of a property, but try to spend just a couple of minutes learning about the property's features and amenities. Doing this will not only be beneficial for your client, but also for yourself, because you'll feel more confident and prepared whenever your client asks you a question about the property. Number two, know what your client is looking for. During the initial meeting that you have with your client, find out what their wants and needs are. Don't ever show your client a property that they're not going to be interested in. Not only is this a waste of their time, but also yours. It'll also be harder for your client to make a decision if you give them more options to choose from. So knowing what they're looking for will make the search process tremendously easier. Number three, read up on the showing instructions. Not being able to open the door to a house because you didn't read up on the showing instructions ahead of time is hands down one of the most embarrassing things that could happen to you in real estate. There have been countless times where I get to a house that I'm doing a showing on and then realize that the listing agent never included the lockbox combo in the showing instructions. If I had read the showing instructions ahead of time, then I could have asked the listing agent for the lockbox combo and I would have never been locked out of the house. The showing instructions will typically include any requests that the owners have for showings. You want to make sure that you're following these requests because getting in trouble with the owners won't do you or your client any good. Also, make sure you know where the lockbox is located and what the code to it is. If you go into a showing not knowing any of these things, then your client could end up losing some trust and confidence in you. Number four, turn on all the lights. As you're going around the house with your client, make sure that you're turning on all the lights. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but I do, because so many real estate agents still don't do this. Doing this will obviously brighten up the house so that your client can see all of the features that the house has to offer. And it's also pretty weird to walk into a dark room with somebody. Number five, state the facts, not your opinion. As you're going around the house with your client, avoid sharing your opinion about the house because you may hate the lime green walls in the living room, but your client may absolutely love it. Your client is the one that's renting or buying the house, not you. So instead of sharing your opinion on what you think about this or that, state the facts that you know about the house, such as how many bedrooms and bathrooms there are, or what material the flooring is made out of, or whether the utilities run on gas or electric. You get it. Number six, ask your client questions. You should always ask your client what their thoughts are on the house you just showed them so that you have a better idea of what house to show them next. One question that I like to ask is, how would you rate this house on a scale of 1 to 10? Now I know that this is an overused question, but it's actually quite effective. Before I have them answer the question, I explain to them that it's rare for a house to ever be a 10. Once they hear this, they immediately become less strict on their rating for the house. If they rate the house either an 8 or a 9, then that means they're absolutely in love with it. If it's a 6 or a 7, then they may be interested in it under the right terms and conditions, and if it's below a 5, then yeah, they're not interested in that house at all. Number 7, leaving the property the way it was. This is just common sense, but we all know that doesn't exist in this day and age. As you're going around the house, make sure that you're staying out of the owner's stuff, and also make sure that you're turning off anything that you turned off, especially the oven. And don't ever forget to lock the door that you came in, because that would be bad if you didn't. Number 8, follow up. Right after the showing, make sure that you find out from your client what they liked and what they didn't like about the house. If they're interested in the house, then make sure you have a copy of the contract if it's a house for sale, or a copy of the application if it's a house for rent, so that you can get the ball rolling right away. Doing this is especially important in the crazy market that we're in right now, where houses are being sold or rented within a matter of days. Buying or renting a house is a large investment, not only financially, but emotionally as well. So it's no surprise that showings can get really stressful really quick for you and your client. But all that is avoidable if you follow all of the tips that were provided in this video. As I said, I'm a newer agent, so if you have any tips for doing showings, please feel free to share them with me, because I'm always open to expanding my knowledge and skills in real estate. Well, that's it for now, guys. If you thought that this video was helpful, then please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.